What's the word? I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. I just want to come through to you, remind you a little something about confidence. You see, if you're struggling with confidence, let me remind you the irrationality of kind of just dimming your light. You see, because first of all, like if you're lowering your level of confidence due to other people, let's say maybe you don't want to speak up as loud, or you're a little bit awkward in social situations, or you feel like, oh, I shouldn't be like this because of that. I want to stop you right here and remind you that how irrational is it to think that every single person on this earth is going to like you? That is the most ridiculous thing. I mean, there are literally billions of people on this earth. And I'm sure you're a very cool person, I'm sure we would like just kick it. But here's the thing. Think about how many people out there don't like the same things as you. Or actually, let me put it this way. How many people out there have like just not good taste in things, They just don't like things that are nice or this or that. Think about that for a second. So if you're someone who like you are a great person, let's say you're someone of value. You are cool, you're this, you're that, you have great qualities, blah blah blah. So who you are and your value should not be determined by someone else, because ultimately, if someone has bad vision, they're not going to be able to see the worth in it. If they have bad taste, they're not going to be able to really appreciate it. So I think that one kind of accentuates like the people who do ride with you and the people who do rock with you and see your value. But two, being able to understand that your value is really not determined by anyone else. Like, not at all. Rather, your value is one, inherent. Like, you just inherently are valuable. But two, that you also get to determine how valuable you are, right? The treatment that you believe you deserve, you're going to treat yourself in that way, right? So if you believe you are someone who is worthy of, having rest and having nice things and this and that, you're going to, treat yourself to a nice meal, for example, or you're going to make sure you get that rest, that visit at the spa, your time in nature, blah, 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 blah. But if you don't see that value in yourself, you don't love yourself, you don't appreciate yourself, you're not going to treat yourself with that same respect that you deserve. So ultimately, like many things in life, it really does start with us in how we treat ourselves and how we love ourselves. And I think that is one thing that we can always come back to every single day is, asking yourself, how can I love myself more? How can I be better towards myself? And this is not even in an egoical way, like, how can I only help myself, blah, blah, blah. This is a really like coming from a place of love and being like, what can I do to make myself feel loved by myself? Think about it. What can you do for yourself in this moment that can help you feel more loved? Maybe it's taking a walk. Maybe it's, going for a swim. I don't know. Like, you know yourself better than me. So I trust you, as you should trust yourself, to be able to take care of the things that you need to do. And that's part of confidence, is trusting yourself, is loving yourself, right? So loving and trusting yourself and having that confidence in yourself will reflect outwards, okay? So don't be afraid. I mean, I want you just to pause and take a moment and think about the things that you wish you were more confident in. Now set a goal each day or each time this comes up on how you want to be more confident, and give yourself permission to be more confident in those things. I'll give you an example. Let's say, in a basketball game, I want to be more confident on the basketball court. Let's say I want to be more confident shooting a three-pointer. It's a tougher shot than going for a layup. But let's say I want to build that confidence to be able to have that confidence to shoot three-pointers more often. Okay, well, in my games, I'm just going to start shooting them. Make or miss, it does not matter. Because at the end of the day, like, we're practicing the confidence in that. So let's say you want to be more confident in talking to strangers. Go on talking to strangers, bro. Because at the end of the day, like, I think a lot of things that people don't realize is the fear that they have a lot of times is irrational. Like, what is it that you are really afraid of? Let's say you are going out into public, or let's say you want to talk to random strangers. What is it that you're really afraid of? Is there anything life-threatening? Is there anything dangerous here? The only thing that you could really potentially has happen is embarrassment, but that's kind of self-inflicted because at the end of the day, like if you try to start a conversation with a stranger and they don't want to talk, oh well, boo-hoo. Like, okay, next, like how that person is does not reflect you. It reflects them. Like, if that person doesn't want to talk, if they're in a bad mood, blah, blah, blah. There's so many reasons why it couldn't happen or not happen, and the same thing, I guess, goes for my basketball example. Make or miss the shot, maybe the defender is too close and gets a tip on the ball. Maybe, your hand was a little wet and the ball slipped a little bit. Maybe a little wind, a gust of wind blows the ball away. So it doesn't really matter, make or miss. Like, I think an important thing that we can do is, like, set a goal in mind for what we want to be more confident about and just go out there and build that muscle memory of being confident, right? And it gets easier the more you do it. So, your first time talking to a stranger in public, you might be scared, you might be shaking in your boots, but it really doesn't matter because by the 10th time that day, you're going to be a lot more confident. By the 100th time, that week, you're going to be so confident. And so it's just remembering that like confidence also is a muscle that we can build upon. We can build upon that confidence and build upon that daily. So I think it's just being mindful throughout the day about how we want to be more confident in ourselves. For example, like I mean, I guess it just really applies to anything, but it's also the second part of that is remembering that other people's opinions of us really don't matter. Don't matter. Like, they matter, but they really don't. Like, it shouldn't determine anything for you internally. Like, if someone likes you or does not like you, oh well. Like, I'm not gonna focus on if someone doesn't like me because there are plenty of people that do like me. You understand? So that's the way I see it. And I think one thing I've learned in life is just kind of accept people as they are. Don't try to control people or the way they should be. Because at the end of the day, like, I think life's better that way. Like, instead of forcing people to kind of conform to you, to what you want them to be, let them be themselves, and you'll learn a lot more about them. And, like, and that also plays into, our talking to random people thing. Like, you know, you're gonna have a better conversation with someone who wants to talk to you than someone who doesn't, like, obviously. And so it's just, like, coming back to that point of view of, like, "Oh, like, I'm not gonna try to change anyone else. I'm not gonna try to, be this or that." Rather, I'm just going to shift my perspective and shift my energy in the way that I think and view myself, you know? And I want, like, y'all to really just take that time if you haven't and look at yourself. How do you view yourself? One, how do you view yourself right now? And two, how do you want to view yourself? What is your ideal state of viewing for yourself? And then bridge that gap. If you want to view yourself as someone who is more confident, build that muscle of confidence. Okay. And so, like, more than that, I think it's just kind of reminding ourselves, like, a lot of things can be built up with momentum, like muscles. So it's not just that confidence that we desire in life, like many things that we can build in life just through exercising each day and giving that daily progression. And, like, in today's culture, maybe it could be easy to be like, we want that immediate, spike, that immediate burst. But I mean, sometimes that's, not possible, I guess. I don't know. Like, I mean, honestly, like, life is flowing. So if you don't want life to be like this, that'd be crazy, bro. So we go with the flow, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like there's a lot of self-love in that, I think, to be able to just put in the daily effort, the daily work, put in that self-love every single day. And um I don't know, like, it's kind of rough because like I think many people don't like to hear about routines and this and that and having this, steady, slow progression because like maybe it doesn't sound that interesting, but I think like those rewards after a long burn are very beautiful. Like for example, in my time skateboarding, um the tricks that felt the most like satisfying to land and like just beautiful were the tricks that took a long time. Like I don't want to say it this way, but I'm gonna say it because I think it's kind of funny and also kind of true if you know skateboarding. Like if you spend days, weeks trying to land a certain trick and you finally land it after a day of sweating, like bleeding, falling, like that feeling of landing that trick is like literally orgasmic. It feels so like relieving and like good and like you feel so proud of yourself. And it's just like if you just land it first try, it's like, oh, okay, you know? So I think it's also reminding ourselves that like the reward, that victory is sweeter the longer we work at it too. And um that's also like something to keep you going is like, if it's not happening right now, if we're not having a blast off moment right now, remember that when that time comes, it's gonna feel so sweet because of the time that you put into it versus just that immediate gratification, which is not too satisfying. So yeah, like remind yourself like the reward is worth it. The reward is worth it. And I just want to say thank you for spending your time here and hanging out with me. If you don't know, I do guided meditations on Patreon, so you can check the link down below. As well as I am an artist, I put a lot of love and appreciation and authenticity of my real feelings on the canvas. So if you'd like to order one of those, I put a lot of, care and time into that. And it's something like I really recommend and it's really high quality. I put a lot of effort into that and making sure I provide something for y'all that is of high quality. Anyways, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Have a wonderful day. Peace.